Hey guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I'm your host Bastion. This is Nintendo News. Let's get to that news, shall we? First of all, we learned an interesting bit of trivia about Link, well, specifically his design from Twilight Princess, and that they were going to go in a much different direction than they ended up going. Apparently, they felt like, in recent Zelda games, we've always been showing him being like a teenager. Why don't we make him older? Why don't we go 25 or maybe even upwards of 30 for this Link? And instead of like the skinny little twiggy kind of guy, why don't we get him looking muscular and sturdy and everything? That would have been a very interesting take on Link, and I actually would have been able to maybe successfully cosplay as Link or whatnot, but unfortunately they decided, no, we're hearing from overseas that people really want Link from Ocarina of Time, basically. That specific style of Link, so let's just import him directly into Twilight Princess, basically that whole design recreated for this new system. Which is a little disheartening because I feel like Nintendo's whole thing is, let's ignore what the fans claim they want and let's just give them something new and interesting that they didn't even realize they wanted. And that surely would have been the case if they had done a Link that was 25 to 30 years old. That would have been a completely different Link than we've experienced before. And, maybe they would have designed him to be less quick but stronger or something like that. It would have been very interesting. I'd like to play a Zelda game like that, but anyways, it wasn't meant to be apparently, so if you want to read more about that, there is a link down there for you. Our next story is about the Zelda 30th Anniversary DVD and some of the bonus footage that's on that, if you're curious what exactly that might have, to sort of help you weigh your decision as to whether you want to buy it or not. You can watch that footage. There's a link down there for you. Our next story is about tying up some loose ends with Suda51's appearance on the Nintendo Switch presentation and why that went so disastrously, and he came forward and said, yeah, that was all my fault. There was a pre-written script that I wrote and I was supposed to deliver, but I went completely off of it, and so the translator, who was just supposed to be translating from that already existing script, suddenly had to translate live, and apparently Mr. Suda51 was talking about all kinds of things that wouldn't even make sense to translate. Apparently the Japanese, he was like making references to Japanese pro wrestlers, because apparently that particular theater they were in is the same one that's used for a lot of Japanese pro wrestling. So he was like making all these obscure references to those individuals, and apparently the majority of the Japanese audience didn't even know what he was talking about. So this poor translator couldn't figure out how to translate this basically gibberish to an American-speaking audience, which was the whole point. So anyways, he says, yes, that debacle was all my fault. I went completely off script, talked about random weird things, but apparently he's offered to come out to North America and take that fellow out to dinner to apologize. So anyways, it's very amusing. He's quite an eccentric fellow. If you want to read more about that, there's a link down there for you. That is it for this episode of Nintendo News. See you guys tomorrow for more news. Bye, guys.